Hey everyone, and welcome to the video. So what I've got for you today is a Apple MagSafe charger. Those of you who are subscribed to the channel might be thinking, hang on, haven't you already done an unboxing for one of those? The answer to that is yes, I have. So this is an original Apple made MagSafe charger, and this is the 20-watt charger that they actually supply as part of this. So this is the one that they actually recommend to go alongside this. And as you'll have seen from my video yesterday, so I received this as part of my MagSafe Duo kit essentially. This is, I believe, a 15 or 18 watt. Yeah, I think it'll work out to 18 watt charger. So not quite the 20 watt. It's still a lot better than obviously your generic sort of chargers out there. So this is basically what I've received. Now, it did originally come with the green tear strip. As you can see, I have actually torn that off myself. So in terms of the packaging, as you can see, it looks probably identical to the real thing. The box itself is probably, as I say, all of these kind of, the packaging is generally made in China anyway. So the fact that the packaging looks the same doesn't necessarily say anything. So first thing we get is a little bit of a leaflet. So we get literally just an indication of what we're getting in the pack, and then this is the charger itself. I believe this is different. I don't think the original one was actually looped in this way. I believe it may have had some tape or something on it, but either way, it's just packaging, so we'll get it out of that. And this is what we're met with. So on this side we do have a USB-C cable, and then we have the puck itself. Now, one thing that you will notice is, in fact, these are exactly one-for-one replicas. So even in terms of the actual surface itself, the one thing I did notice, because I have already opened this, there's a slightly bigger gap around that sort of rim of the rubber. So whereas on the original one, the rubber, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, I might not be able to actually get it perfectly level, but the rubber is just a touch, it feels like it's just a touch above the actual metal rim. Now on the replica, it almost feels the opposite. So when I rub my finger along that edge, I can feel the metal, whereas on this one it feels like it kind of falls away. So this one is almost, it'll be touching the actual rubber part on the back of your phone, and that is the genuine one, whereas this one, it'll be the metal essentially that's touching. Yeah, I mean, when I took it out of the packaging, I did actually originally think this looks bigger, but now that I've actually put them side by side next to each other, it does actually look exactly the same. Now, the other thing that I did notice is the protection for the cable. As you can see, the genuine one has this almost double the length protection, sort of to stop it bending too much, whereas on this one, and it's basically how they had it packaged as well. First thing I'd noticed when I did actually take it out was how much of a bend that actually gets into it. So that might actually be more of a concern on the replica than it will actually on the genuine one, for the simple reason that this feels a little bit more flimsy. So with that, what I'll do is I'll just get this tidied up, I'll get both of them powered up, and then we'll do a few tests. Okay, so here we are back. I have had to switch phones onto the iPhone 10, so the picture might look a little bit different at this stage. Hopefully we can get through this. Okay, so what I'll do is, firstly, this is your genuine Apple MagSafe charger, as well as the genuine power adapter as well. So what I'll do is I'll just power that one up, and just to show you, just get rid of that. If I just drop that on there, try and get it to actually, there we go. And you get the animation, you get the sound, and it's charging. So that's all perfectly fine. In terms of how well it sticks, bear in mind that this is quite a slippery case, so it's not falling off. And if I was to do, well, possibly no. So you don't want to be holding it using just the puck on this particular case, for the simple reason that this is very slippery. So now what we'll do is we'll power up the replica. So this is the 18 watt power adapter. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, they have actually managed to replicate the animation as well. So in terms of the force of the magnets, probably not as much. So just looking at them side by side now, you can see, well, I don't know how well you'll be able to see on this particular camera, but the rim, the metal rim is just a tiny bit thinner than on the genuine one. You're probably only talking a mil, maybe 2 mils at most, but it is slightly thinner. So I'll just bring them in, and you should be able to actually tell from that this one on the right, which is the genuine one, is just a tiny bit thicker in terms of the metal part than the one on the left. What I'll do is, just to be fair, what I'll do once again is so that jumps up, and just do the test. So as you can see, not falling off. Really confident with the genuine MagSafe that basically it's going to make a good connection. Same test on this one. So I'll bring it in slowly, and as you can see, it does jump up and it's located. And just to be fair, yeah, I mean it's not, I don't think it's quite as strong, because even the sort of thud that you get compared to that one, this one jumps up a lot from slightly further up. So the magnets on, well, the sort of magnetism, I should say, on that one is probably a little bit stronger. But as you can see, working perfectly fine. This one, if I remember correctly, this was only either £11 or £14. I can't remember exactly how much I actually paid for this. So obviously the genuine one, I think, is, off the top of my head, I think it's around £40. For a third of the price, you're basically getting something that essentially does the same thing. Now, as I say, because of the width of the cable and everything, so this cable is just a touch thicker or stiffer. It just feels slightly different. This one feels more rubbery, whereas this one's got a sort of grip to it. I know that the cables on all of Apple's basically 1 meter sort of accessories aren't as good as their 2 meter ones. Obviously at the moment we don't have a 2 meter in this particular product. This one definitely feels a bit more flimsy, if you like. So possibly not quite as good quality, but you're talking a third of the price, and it does everything that the original one does. So the biggest gripe with these sort of products is that they don't manage to actually replicate the animation, whereas with this one, well, not that time. So if you don't locate it correctly, so if it literally just detects a charge, then it will just do your normal Qi charging. It's only when it actually snaps into place there. Well, maybe not quite there. I think it's... Ooh. Okay, so if the screen's on, then it doesn't seem to do the animation. Let me just test that with the original one. So the original one, even with the screen on, will do the animation. We'll just wait for it to reset. And that one, for some reason, doesn't. So this one only wants to do the animation either when it's screen off, well, let's just give it a reset and see what happens. Because originally all of my testing did show that it was doing... That's very strange. Okay, so screen off. And the animation seems to have disappeared. So I'm not sure whether it only works if it's in a certain orientation. But at the moment, it definitely doesn't seem to be doing the animation anymore. One final test, we'll kill the power, turn it back on. And there, the animation's back. So I think it is a case of how you're lining it up, and possibly if your cable is coming out of the bottom, then it might actually work a little better. Plus, I think it's probably something to do with the fact that obviously these, essentially what it's going to do is it's going to detect a normal Qi charger. So obviously it only makes the MagSafe sound when you put it on a MagSafe charger. If it thinks you're only using a Qi charger, then it's not going to make the sound. What I'll do is I'll just test it once more. So it's disconnected. I'll make sure screen's off. And there we go. So the animation is working. So obviously they've done something in order to try and hack the animation. So obviously there's probably some circuitry in there that possibly wasn't quite working fully when it's basically not detected. But unlike the original, which obviously is going to work every single time, your third party one is for the most part it's going to work. I think if you do get that same issue where the charging animation doesn't come up, then basically just kill the power, turn it back on, and then hopefully that should be fine. So there we have it. Everything in terms of functionality for the most part does work. I would recommend this product. What I'll do is for this one, I will actually put links in the description below of the actual seller, because this listing, obviously the prices do change. I have noticed that some items I've purchased myself and the prices have actually changed. With this particular one, it's actually cheaper than some that have actually labeled them as 1-for-1, or they've actually put in their title that it includes the charging animation. The charging animation didn't work on the MagSafe Duo, but it does on this particular single MagSafe charger. A good little bargain for anybody that's just looking for the functionality of having the reassurance that when you put it on there at night, it's going to charge. Obviously, whether it has that glitch where occasionally it doesn't do the animation, it doesn't really change the fact that it's going to still charge. And that is the main thing. That's why I actually like MagSafe so much, and why, since I've actually got the MagSafe charger, that's basically what I've been using, because of the fact that I had it once where I actually put my phone on a charger. And obviously it's more so with these phones for the simple reason that because they are so big, it doesn't line up perfectly on MagSafe chargers with a case on. So if you take it out of the case, generally all of them are going to work on most most generic Qi chargers. But when you actually put it on one of those Qi chargers with the case on, either this one or the silicon case or some of the other ones that I've actually used for a little while, what tends to happen is it's raised too high, so it doesn't align fully. So whilst it may start charging, what you'll probably find is halfway through it'll actually cut out. And even whilst it was charging at such a slow rate that basically when you wake up in the morning, it's not actually charged. I had it happen to me once, and since then basically I've been using my MagSafe chargers and I absolutely love them. So I'd recommend this to anybody out there looking for just a cheaper option to the MagSafe. Obviously for those out there that hate Apple for doing what they do but still buy their phones, if you bought this secondhand, if you've been gifted this further down the line, obviously we're in 2020, if you're watching this video somewhere down the line, rest assured that there are cheaper alternatives out there that do the trick and do the job just as good as the original, albeit with the odd glitch here and there. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell, that way you won't miss out on any new videos I've got coming. And until the next one, thanks very much for watching.